Hello and welcome to 70.3 base training with 2 days off per week. So this plan is designed for athletes that are busy or have some other stuff obviously going on, or maybe they find they just need more rest than some other people out there, and that's totally fine. So you can train so effectively with 2 days off if you know exactly how to place the training and the types of training you need to do. What's really important right now is that we all get on the same page. So the very first few weeks are going to be a little redundant. I'm just going to warn you for that. It's about getting the body moving and making sure that you're doing the right things all the time and not overtraining. One of the things that I'll say is I tend to move the long runs in the middle of the week for two reasons. One is so that it gives you an opportunity to be a little bit more fresh for that long run. I know traditionally a lot of people will do the long days back to back on the weekends because that's the time they have the time, and that's fine. So a thing of note is if you want to flip flop a day off on the weekend with maybe your long run on Wednesday, that's absolutely fine. As well as if you want to use one of the day offs or even both of the day offs as a float day. So if you want to float something in that you haven't gotten in throughout the rest of the week, you can do that. Just all I would caution you is you want to be careful to not put anything hard, same sport, the day after something long and aerobic. So you wouldn't want to do your long run on Wednesday, for example, and then on Thursday float in a hard run day. Not only may you get injured, but it also is going to negatively impact the benefit that you actually receive from that aerobic day. So neither of those things are obviously good. It's much better to sometimes say, I'm going to skip this and let this go. And to that point, consistency is king. That's the number one thing I talk to my athletes all the time. And so the big thing is just getting the consistency. A couple of other things to note. Again, if you don't know your zones right now, everything you do should be in that general old talk test rule, right? So if you can't have a conversation with somebody while you're doing any of the exercise, you're working out too hard. I want everything to be super aerobic right now. Zone 1 is active recovery. So something you could do for hours and hours and hours and hours, no problem at all. Zone 2 is something that is that old talk test. And that's all we really get into right now. Zone 3 is going to show up a little bit later, but that's something that you could do for maybe 2 or 3 hours, that type of thing. So it's a solid effort, but not going to kill you. And zone 4 is something you could do for, 50 minutes to 90 minutes, right around in there, depending on where you are in zone 4. And then zone 5 is more of that 5K, under 45-minute type race effort. So you'll notice that the strides are something that show up in there as well too. And sometimes that will create some confusion. And all a stride is a fast burst of running, but you're only going to be doing it for 20 seconds, or it's going to ask you to count how many times your right foot touches the ground. So how many steps that foot takes so that you don't have to count both feet. And it'll tell you to stop after 20 steps on one side. So I hope you have an amazing week. I'm going to see you every week, giving you a little bit of tips and things that you can think about. As well, I'll say we're going to start with some strength programs. If you have one, go ahead and keep using that. If you don't, I think that strength is a great way to lay some foundation and injury prevention. I don't want you getting really sore from the strength training right now. So pick a weight that you could do for 15 reps, so to say, but we're only going to be doing like maybe 3 sets of 10, right? Like that traditional 3 sets of 10, but you could do 15 reps. If you're really sore the next day, you went too hard, and I don't really care what you do as long as you're safe. There's tons of ways to train the legs. There's tons of ways to train the back, So if you have things you like or core workouts you like, go ahead and do it. It's fine. So I will see you all in week 2, and please reach out if you have any questions at all.